Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Hello, onesies, and welcome back. It's the show that would quiet quit, but it would be too obvious. The audience of one show on Conroe's 106.1, 104.5, and irlonestar.com, also available wherever you get your podcast from. I am Andrew, next to the man who is not that big into searching for the truth, the shiz himself, Dick Ivy.
Yeah, because the truth.
What up, shiz?
The truth is out there.
That's deep, man. The truth. It's out there. The truth is right here on the AOO show, man.
Yeah, you never seen X-Files. You suck.
No, I don't. I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was the slogan when it said the truth is out
oh,
there.
is it? Well, yeah. See, that one shot
on now.
right over my head.
Yeah. Come on now.
I'm sure we just offended half our audience because there's so many X-Files viewers. Actually, that was a popular show.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah. It was.
I
on
mean,
for
they
a
made
long
dolls, so that has to be
right. It's
popular.
It's kind of the rule. You don't make dolls unless your show is popular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would kind of creep me out, though, especially for a show like that, and you're an actor just trying to be an actor, and it's just like, oh, we made a doll of you. I'm like, why? It's like,
Yeah.
Because, I mean, they were FBI agents, but they weren't, like, sexy FBI agents.
Right.
So it's just kind of
They
funny.
make toys for all kinds of shows now. But
Yeah,
you're right.
I
A lot
know.
of it's like cartoons and stuff. But yeah, a real live action show having their own dolls is kind of weird, I have to admit. Especially like the toys where they have the really overly large sized head
Like,
and the small little body.
K-pops, is that what they're called?
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, there's like a collector's thing.
Yeah, is that the name of the
I
toy?
think that might be called the brand or
Oh, okay. Yeah,
T-pops or something.
probably.
Something stupid.
There's probably a lot of people cringing right now. How do you not know
well,
that?
not that. What I like about
I got
those,
a closet full.
what I like about those is there's no creativity put into them.
Yeah, once you do the first one, it's just like,
Well, it's like,
have a
let's make
mold.
that Neo. It's like, just give him a jacket and glasses.
right. Yeah, they don't have
Like,
to change the mold.
you don't change anything. I'm like, well, there should be a little bit more changes, right? But that's what dolls are, I guess, today.
guess. We need some-
Collector's items today.
We need some AOO dolls. Yours would have a removable stash, like
Yeah.
Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah.
1 week you have it, 1 week you don't.
No,
Long hair,
no,
short hair.
No, hungover eyes, no hungover eyes.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And then
A can of Ingenious Brewery beer.
well,
yeah.
things have changed, since we've been moving everything around with our time and stuff. So I love it. And did you have a good weekend?
I
Speaking
went and-
of
yeah,
what I
man.
do on the weekend.
I went and saw Dwight Yoakam over the weekend.
Dude, where?
Bro, yeah, down in Sugarland.
Oh, at the center or whatever. That.
Yeah, Financial something
Yeah.
Center. Yeah, it was.
Whose idea was that? I didn't know you liked Dwight Yoakam.
Well, I do. So it's kind of funny. I'm not a huge country music guy.
Yeah.
But I've had this sort of late in life appreciation for Dwight Yoakam.
Me too. I want to see him live. That's why
That
I
is-
was like, that's one of the few bands I want to see live.
Unreal. So I had no
Or
idea.
person, I guess.
You know, we had a Jackson Brown moment a couple of months
Yeah.
ago, and now here we are having a Dwight Yoakam moment, except this one's live on the air.
But see, I've seen Jackson Brown live, so I'm one of those guys. Like once you see it, I don't have to go again.
Well, when I was a kid, Dwight Yoakam kind of weirded me out a little bit. I didn't get it, and it was the tight jeans and the shaking leg. He kind of gave me the oogies. Wasn't on my radar. But then somewhere a couple of years ago, I don't know why, I came across one of his videos, and I'm watching it, and I'm thought, this guy has got it going on.
Oh, I know. That's why I
Like,
love.
this guy's rocking
Do you
country,
remember the opening scene of Wedding Crashers?
I have seen that movie. I don't know.
Remember,
if I
it's like they're
the-
mediating this marriage, and it's a woman and a guy.
Yeah.
That's Dwight Yoakam.
Is it really? I'm gonna have to go back and
Yeah,
watch it.
and that's when I started listening to him more because I was like, he's actually really funny. And then I started realizing like he does random appearances.
Does
and
he really?
He's,
Okay.
Yeah, he seems like a wild dude, but in a good way, not like
Yeah, you know,
like a
'cause-
Jimmy Buffett kind of thing. Like he's
Right.
probably really cool to be around, and
Correct.
he's always down just to do stuff.
Well, I mean, he's getting a little older now, as we all are, right? I think he's in his mid to late 60s. And he does kind of have a little bit of a Doc Brown vibe about him now with the crazy long gray hair, but he still sounded great.
Yeah.
The show was a little clinical, I got to admit. I mean, it wasn't, he didn't do a lot of interacting with the crowd. It was song to song to song to song to song. get it done and get out. But he sounded good, and so I'm super
Did
glad
you
I
go
went.
by yourself?
I did not. I went with my wife, and I tell you what, we bought the tickets last minute, and we didn't even sit together because it was sold out. We were one row in front of each other, kind of, but the couple right next to her.
How many winks did you give each other? Hey,
Well,
hey,
how you doing?
hey,
Hey, what's up? But the couple right next to her, they left, opening 2 seats up next to her, so we got to sit next to each
Losers.
other pretty much the entire time. I don't know where they went.
yeah, that's cool, man.
Their
yeah.
loss is our gain.
Yeah, I just had the bowling tournament. Really, that was about it. And then, their cable internet went out, which was hilarious because I guess today's cable world. The guy comes in, and we've had like random thunderstorms, and it's almost like the house is like, oh, it hasn't rained for so long. I wasn't prepared for electricity hitting the house, so all this stuff blew. Like I lost the receiver. And like the fuse blew in the receiver, the modem box blew, but we have like all these surge protectors and everything.
gosh.
Like random things blew throughout the house, like some breakers flipped.
They weren't just ordinary storms. They were lightning storms.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. And what I love is this guy comes up and he fixes everything, but he's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I realized your cable strength between the street and here is really weak, so it's probably an old cable. So we're gonna lay a new cable." And I was like, okay, does that mean like you're turning off our internet? What does that mean? Well, he's like, no, I'm gonna lay a new cable. So, but what he didn't explain was, I'm not burying it right now.
No, it's just going to be laying there.
So it's just gonna be laying,
Yeah.
but like
That's a different crew.
but it's coming from the street all the way to the garage.
Yeah.
So you can imagine this orange cord.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, it was really funny to me because it's kind of like, oh, you didn't. I guess I should have paid attention to the detail conversation there
Yeah.
because now we got this cord here. And
Yeah, that happened to me last time, except it was in the backyard, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But it's a separate crew that comes and buries
Yeah.
it. And I think bury is actually a
loose term.
loose term because it was about an inch below the ground. And after, 6 months of rain and whatnot, there was the wire again laying right on top of the ground. It was pretty bad.
Which I get. I mean, I know that's something that's like it's not Xfinity or whatever's job. I think it's like,
isn't it?
well, they could probably charge you more. Like to me, that's like an easy thing.
Have you
to
seen
do.
my bill? It should be covered. Let's
Well,
put it that
that's
way.
what I'm saying. I bet like one guy was like, "Hey, we should charge extra for that." It's like, "Oh, let's not charge them. We'll just put in the cost of everything." But yeah, like for example, a random thing happened too. One of our TVs, the HDMI ports fried out.
Oh man.
So it still works. You can still stream stuff on it.
Sure.
But the
cable
the-
won't connect.
yeah, it's really
You only have one?
well in that room. I just meant that one room. You
No,
know,
no, on the TV, you only have one port?
all
A
the
lot of-
ports, all the
Oh,
ports.
all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was a weird storm, and I was like, maybe a ghost was here.
Yeah, you were targeted.
And it was a hate crime and on us. They don't want us to watch TV, have internet, or anything.
A weather hate crime, huh?
And I was waiting for light bulbs to burst. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
But yeah, so it's just funny. Like, so what I'm telling the audience to do when you talk to those people, pay attention because you might just end up with a 100-foot cord in front of your not 100 foot, maybe like it's probably like 300 feet.
Yeah,
'cause
probably.
the driveway's pretty long. But yeah, I was just
Kind of
like,
reminds me of talking on the phone in the 80s where you got a corded phone and you'd walk around the entire house and wrap it around people. And that was always fun dodging that thing. But,
yeah, I didn't grow up during that time, or I didn't talk to anyone on the phone really.
all right.
I really didn't. Talk
Got
to
it. You're so young. Hey, last week we talked about the show Cops, amongst other things.
Yeah, what's that? What's the
And-
one? It's a Police Live.
You know
what I'm talking about?
I'm only familiar with Cops.
There's one that
There's probably been a lot of spinoffs.
no. There's
though.
one that's like a live version of Cops.
What? Like they're streaming it?
Like they're streaming it. Oh man, because
man,
I
that's
saw it. It's like PD Live or something like that. Like we're gonna be in Milwaukee, Houston, Oregon, like all these like different like at the same time, starting at 9 p.m.
Yeah.
So Cops.
Yeah. So last week, I think you asked whether or not those people like got paid or had some like a reduced sentence for their, being on the show. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to go look this up. And basically, the answer to that question is no. They don't get paid. They don't get anything for it. And basically, that whole process is part of like considered the booking, the arrest process.
So it can be public
It's
information?
public. But I swear, like I've seen
No.
episodes
So many
where
people
their-
get-
where their
yeah.
faces are blurred.
So many people get sued.
So I think it depends on the type of case. It depends on the type of case where they have to sign a waiver. But that's basically what I saw. Is no, it's part of it. Sorry, it's public domain.
And I will will say I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of individuals that are in those circumstances would think, "Oh, I'll be on TV. That's cool. I'll sign it."
That's exactly what it is. A lot of these guys are like, well, I'm already busted. This would be cool. I'll be on TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not thinking it through where I could like make a trade. It's kind of
Sure.
like catching one of those home run baseballs and people hold on to it like, "Give me some tickets."
Yeah. Or you got to pay the taxes on it or something because of the value. But so when you're at that convenience store and you're stealing the bag of Pockies and the Four Loko,
Yeah.
make sure you wear the Audience of One shirt, please.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not going to get paid for it, but at least get us some good exposure.
Good. I love it, man. And yeah, it was. But well, there's other shows too that I feel like kind of like the court shows. I feel like they pay those people.
Now, in that case, I think they're getting their court fees paid for.
Okay.
They're not receiving anything, but they don't have to pay out of pocket, I believe. That's the case.
Interesting. That's an
Yeah.
interesting
So
thing.
now you know it is just all part of the process.
Because we watched a show. I was with one of our mutual buddies, and it literally was just called Jail. And it was all the processing of jail, the holding part, not like
Yeah.
going to like that general population jail. And it was just, I was like, I can't believe they're letting them film these people being so messed up. Like they're on drugs, they're talking like in tongues, and I was just like, I would not want people. Like one guy had like clown face tattoos, and he was just going like just like growling at the camera, and I'm sitting there going, well, I would never sign a release if I was sitting there growling like a dog
Right.
at the camera.
Well, you bring up an interesting point about signing releases. If there's a show that's just live and they're live streaming it, there's no chance for those people
that's
to
what I
sign.
wonder.
But I guess because it's technically not broadcasted in the traditional sense, it's over the internet. So
No, this was on.
anything goes.
No, this was on like I'm looking it up now. I think it's called PD Live.
My
Let's
goodness,
see.
I do like how they just
Live PD. It's a reality show. It's been on since 2016.
Oh,
Is
wow.
that right?
missed that one.
It's on A&E.
Well, cool.
Live PD. Yeah.
I'll have to check it out.
Well, there are some classic YouTube clips of Cops, the TV
Nice.
show.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of those?
I mean,
Like the classic ones, like the funny moments where like the guy's riding on his bike and he starts talking and then he like gets hit by something. And
No.
the cops are like, "Oh my god!"
no, but I'm gonna have to go check that out
There's,
too.
there's some pretty funny ones.
Yeah, there was a moment in time where I was a watcher of the show Cops. I mean, it kind of had its moment in time, and I was younger, and it was funny. But after you've seen a few episodes, you kind of seen them all. But it was funny.
Well, like I was watching that jail show, and they have such a variety of people. And this particular episode is about the women part. And this lady looked
About the woman part,
like there's women.
That's a different show.
There's women and men. So like they'll have an episode of all men, and then they'll have an
okay.
episode of all women.
You just said that a little funny. I was wondering.
Sorry. Well, this lady's like dressed really nice.
Watching the show about the women part.
She's dressed like in a cocktail dress, and she just looks drunk as a skunk. And they got her like cuffed and everything, and she's like, "Well, I didn't really do anything." Like she's talking like a lady, and then all of a sudden the police lady just goes, "Well, ma'am, you bit an officer."
Uh-oh.
And she kind of looks at the camera and like, "Oh, I don't remember doing that."
Whoops.
And like apparently chewed on her or something like that. I was like, "Well, what are you doing, Stacy? Chewing on people?" But yeah, so that's why she got arrested.
Probably shouldn't be chewing on people, cops or otherwise. Just gonna say that.
It's just funny because she was trying to say, "I'm just a nice girl. I don't do this. I don't know why confusion got me here."
'Cause
Ma'am,
you're hammered, ma'am.
Ma'am, you bit a police officer. Oh, okay, that's right. Maybe I did.
You have his ring in your mouth still, by the way.
But yeah, man, I do not want to be on one of those shows.
No. Well, that's like I said. If you are, make sure you're wearing your AOO stuff. Hey, man, are you a pet owner? I believe you are.
Yeah.
You own is it one doggy or two?
I have one,
Yeah.
and then my parents have the sister.
Ah, okay.
So I took one of them from them
That's nice.
post like 3 years.
I've met. It was a black dog. I think
Yeah,
I've.
little Freddie.
Yeah, he was sweet. Or she. I don't.
She was
remember
hiding behind the
gender. She.
fridge.
Did you ever teach your dog any like cool tricks or anything like that?
I didn't really teach her, but she knows the basics, like to wait by the door. Mm-hmm. Like I have to give her permission to come in.
But how did she know
She
to
just
do
knew
that?
that. She just knew it.
So smart.
It was weird.
But you didn't teach her like sit.
She knows how to sit. I didn't teach her, and
Well,
then I'm telling you, it was weird.
Okay, but if you tell her the word sit, she does it.
Not immediately. She kind of looks around like, because I never did the reward, the reward / teaching. Where like you get a treat if I
Sure.
say these words.
Yeah.
But if I say, "Hey, sit, stay," and she's like, "Well, dang it, okay," and then
Sounds like a great dog.
yeah, she's
Well, I mean, she knows things without even having to teach her. So I have
Yeah.
had in my adult life.
Well, she can't roll over, or shake hands, or do like cool tricks.
Okay, well, you got to work on that because it's kind of a fun thing to have. I've had 2 dogs in my adult life. The last one, she lived to 17 years old, or almost 17.
Yeah.
And she was a bigger dog too. And now we have a little white Westie, and I have taught them both how to sit and shake, along with my wife. I mean, she helps train them too, and stay. And it was always treat based and everything like that. So it's always kind of fun, cool little party tricks to do with your dog. But I was wondering if you've seen these videos that have been out now for a little while, these dogs that push the buttons that have different sayings, and it's like the dogs are
Yeah, those are fake.
talking.
They're fake.
right?
They got to be fake.
Well, those are known as button dogs. Okay.
Fake.
And I love this. Well, it's not fake so much as the videos. I mean, they're real, and the dogs are actually hitting the buttons that talk, and you can actually buy these sets of
I know
buttons
you're
that say
talking
different
about.
things. So it's not fake.
It's fake.
But what's funny though is these people really think, some people, that their dogs are talking to them.
And sentences.
Yeah. So if you don't know what this is, there are kits that you can buy, and it may have 18 different sayings, like, treat or I love you.
If you never
or,
see them, they look like tiles with buttons on top of them. So
Yeah.
you can put them in like a puzzle,
yeah.
and then like connect
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of them together in a circle, and like the dog will hit a bunch of them.
So they say all kinds of things. I love you, treat, I'm sleepy, I want to go outside, I'm hungry,
Fake.
all kinds
All
of stuff,
fake.
right? And I see these things, and sometimes they're kind of amusing to me. But there's no way these dogs are actually talking, right? I mean, I think we're projecting onto them more intricate thought processes. I've got this article here. I don't even know where it's from, but talks a little bit in depth about what happens when a dog says something like, I like you, when they ring the bell. It's most likely they know they're getting attention, so it's something good, but they don't actually know that they're saying the word.
They don't love you.
I like you. Oh, I think they do,
They'll
but
eat
they're not.
you if you're dead.
Well, I'd eat you if you were dead and I was hungry enough.
Yeah.
But I just think it's pretty funny, man.
Never trust. One of the things I have not teach my dog is how to protect me properly.
You got to get on that.
Because if I get around any type of engine type vehicle or like a weed eater, she thinks it's attacking me.
Yeah, you've mentioned that before. She starts barking at it, and,
And then she bites. She grabs my ankles and tries to pull
pull
me
you
away.
She doesn't know. I mean, she's just trying.
And I'll look at her like, "You dumb."
Well, it says we already understand what dogs are trying to tell us without buttons. But when we used human linguistics interfaces, which is basically what these buttons are, we start ascribing too much to our joint understanding of the words. And I think that's a fancy way of saying what I was saying in a dumb way. They don't know what the heck they're saying.
No, it's like I'll push a button.
But I wish I would have jumped in on this and created one of these with dirty sayings.
Oh yeah.
And trained
that's
my
a little
dogs.
weird.
No, but trained my dogs to do things funny. So then when I have guests over, they'll come in, and they'll click the button,
Like,
and it'll
it says
say
bad words.
Yeah, it's just I want to hump your leg.
Yeah.
What was that? And you're like, hey, good job, Freddie, way to go.
You look good
Click-
to eat. Yeah.
Click another one. I just crapped in your bed.
Yeah. Are you a mailman?
Right. And just look at your guest, like what is? Yeah, oh yeah, that's just Freddie. That's just the way she is. But I think we missed out on an opportunity there. Oh man. So have you ever?
No.
Moving on.
No, I'm just kidding. What?
Have you ever received any? I mean, you're an Amazon shopper, right? You
I've
use
had-
Amazon. Yeah. Have you ever received a package that wasn't yours or something you didn't order? And I don't mean like you got your neighbor's package.
yeah,
You go, I
yeah.
got to take this across the street. I mean, it says your name on it. You open it up and you're like, I didn't order 12 goop candles. What's up?
The only time it's ever happened to me is when I got a bunch of Xanax in the mail.
Well, score.
Yeah, I never told you that story.
No, but please
So
do.
at the old studio, we had a mailbox. So
Wait, you can get Xanax from
no,
Amazon?
no. This is kind of funny, and this is just
Okay.
this is a story for everybody to learn from. So the way the old studio was set up is there was a front door to Main Street, and Main Street's the retail street here in Conroe, downtown Conroe, and our studio front door was inside of a shop. So you walk in, and there's a shop right in front of you, and to the left there's a door, and that was the door into the studio. Outside that door was our mailbox. It was a little tiny iron or like a steel box that you can open up. So I would check my mail, not often because I could see who's walking by delivering mail. Well, one day I open it up and there's a package in there, like an envelope package padded, and I open it and
Wait. Did it say your name on it?
It said Lone Star Community Radio, and it was from some address.
Okay, so it didn't specifically say
name.
Dick IV.
It said
but
Lone Star Community
okay.
Radio.
All right.
Because we used to get mail from like music CDs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
anyway.
your radio station. That's going to happen.
Yeah, and I opened it, and it was like a sealed bag full of bars or Xanax, and there was a lot of them.
Wait, Xanax comes in bars?
I think it's
I'm Xanax ignorant,
I think they're
so-
called bars.
Oh, okay.
Like that's the street name.
Ooh.
Because I
You're so
looked,
hip.
I was like, "What pills are these? This is weird." And I went online, I looked them up, and then I realized it said like, "Oh, they might be bars, or might be Xanax, or like contraband Xanax, or whatever." So I called we have a show here called Crime Scene Today. We have Officer Dan Zintek. I think he's a lieutenant now, or he might be. But I called him. I was like, "Hey, can you come by the studio whenever you can? Like, I got a package."
Mm-hmm.
So he comes in and sees it, and he's like, "Well, let me see. I want to go take it to the tester." So it
Did he do the very cop thing where he chopped it up, put it on his
No,
pinky, and then
no.
like licked it?
no.
Why did he do that in the cop shows? I'm like, no one does that. You don't know what the substance is, but they always.
I was
they always
tempted to
lick
try
it.
one, but then I realized how stupid that idea is.
Yeah, you think?
But no,
Anyway, so
he
he
got
takes it to the
tested,
lab.
and he called, and he was like, "Yeah, they're bars. They're Xanax. It's like, but it's not like actual prescription Xanax. They're pressed." And
I wonder if so they like melt them down into.
I guess some unqualified mill made it. I don't know.
Okay.
But I go, well, why the heck would it be shipped to me?
as a sign of appreciation.
And because I was like, I don't want to get in trouble for this because I did not order drugs.
And it was from Amazon.
No, it was from some random street in Conroe, and he said he looked up the street, it didn't exist. And I was like, and I go, what does this mean? Like, why would they ship this kind of drug? And he goes, well, apparently, the way drug dealers move drugs is they find a business that has a mailbox like ours, where a lot of people come and go, and they'll ship drugs to that mailbox, and they'll text the other person, say, hey, it's going to be delivered on Monday. You can go by and pick it up. Wow. And I guess they risk it like a person like me doesn't find it.
Fascinating.
So, because there was no locks or anything on our mail. Like, you walk into the front door and just like, there's the mailbox, take it.
That's really interesting.
So watch out where you put your mailbox.
Or you just gave the criminals a really good idea. Either way,
Yeah,
thank you for listening. AOO.
I told you I could be a drug dealer.
Wow, that is an interesting story. No, I was not aware of that.
But one thing I like, though, is they made them look like bars. And that's how I knew it was Xanax. But the fact that they're contraband Xanax, it's like, why do you just make it look like something different?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. Well, that kind of makes this story seem a little lame in comparison, but a woman in Canada said Amazon randomly sent her a box of over 1,000 condoms that she claims she didn't order. And I'm thinking, that's odd. But apparently this is a process called brushing, I think. And companies will send products to you and charge you. And I guess they just do this in mass, hoping that some people just say, oh, I liked this product, or they don't even realize
How do
that
they
the
charge you?
Well, they steal your credit card information. And rather than just stealing it, they'll send you product. So it's not the same kind of theft, right? It's just like an unwanted purchase. So I guess it's prosecuted differently, but it's called brushing. But this lady received over 1,000 condoms valued a little over $500, and she went to her credit card and looked, and yeah, she had a charge on there. So I guess these companies do this in hoping that you just won't notice. You think, oh, I got a package delivered to me by mistake. Cool, I now have Xanax or some Trojans or whatever, and you don't check your credit card statement. But yeah, watch out for that.
Oh, so I'm guessing what they do is they find a third-party seller on Amazon, use the stolen credit card because a third party has an agreement with the thief saying, hey, buy these condoms from us, and we'll give you like 50%, because you know how Amazon doesn't do a great job telling you it's a third party.
Right. I think it could go either way. It could probably be just direct or using a third party.
Well, how do they make the money?
I mean, they've got your credit card information, so.
So are they charging other stuff to it that's not shipping to you?
No, I don't think so.
So that's I think that's how they make their money is they're in cahoots with this third party,
It's possible.
and it's like, hey, we're gonna buy like $1,000 worth of condoms.
No. Well, hey,
Because how much is it? How much are 1,000 condoms?
well, it was a little over $500. That's what I
Okay.
just said. Yeah, and I mean, you're a single guy now. If you were to receive that in the mail, I mean,
I would be like, the Lord Jesus is giving me a sign
it could come in handy.
that I can only sleep with women 500 times, and then it's
That
over.
will last
And-
you the rest of your life.
No, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't, man. No, I would never use them. I would never use those.
Yeah, those are for sailors, man. Psh.
No, like I wouldn't trust that for a second.
Oh, you think randomly without your consent got sent? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point.
yeah, I wouldn't trust that for anything.
I'll just roll the dice here.
No.
Got these in the mail randomly.
Oh, these are opposite of what condoms are supposed to do. Oh, I didn't read the fine print. That's pretty funny though.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Well, staying on the Amazon, this was a story from earlier this year. I'm just now rolled across it, though, but a video went viral with more than 8 million views when an Amazon employee named Charles chronicled his journey all the way into a septic tank trying to deliver a package. So you can imagine the scene here. This guy, regular Amazon driver, is trying to deliver a package. And when I first read this, I thought, well, wouldn't you just see a huge hole and step around it? Well, he did. He saw it, but the ground near it sunk, and he fell 12 feet into a septic tank. Now, what I don't understand is I thought septic tanks were enclosed containers. The pictures online show it looks like it's just a huge hole in the ground, but this guy was stuck in there, sitting in people's filth for hours. And, of course, he uses his cell phone to call for help, and the fire department came and got him. But obviously, when you're sitting in that kind of sewage, which essentially that's what it is, I mean, there's all kinds of disease and things that can get into your system if you've got any open cuts or whatnot. But the funniest part is, though, after he got out, covered in filth, he had about 100 deliveries left on his schedule, and he delivered. He had to go deliver some condoms, I guess, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. I can't explain why there'd be a big hole, big enough for a grown man not to be able to get out.
I mean, it looks massive.
Yeah,
And the pictures are gross. He looks like he's in like just a mud puddle. Wow. He was covered in that slop. And it doesn't say whether or not he changed his clothes as he finished his route or not. But how disgusting.
okay. Hopefully that's a new TikTok trend. Fall into a
Falling
septic
into a
tank.
septic tank.
I don't. I'm not gonna lie. That doesn't look like a septic tank.
No, it doesn't. It just looks like a big hole with mud in it.
Yeah, so
Gray.
it might not be a septic tank. It might be a runoff.
Yeah, I don't know. What said there was vines and things in there? It was like just a hole in the ground. Unless there was a septic tank nearby that was leaking.
That's what I'm saying. It's a runoff.
And it caused,
It's the
runoff's
runoff.
what you meant. Okay, yeah, and it caused a sinkhole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Because you don't put
But
septic
that
into a
septic
hole in
tank
the
isn't
ground.
working well if it looks like that.
No, I'm going to say they need to call a repairman on that one. Doesn't look like it's
Yeah.
operating properly. Last week, we talked about body cams on doctors, and you asked me the question, what other jobs do you
Yeah.
think would require body cams? And neither of us could really come up with
Well,
anything. You know, we besides police officers, that's kind of the obvious. Well, I decided to look into...
my late night webcam series.
Oh, yeah, late nights with Dick Ivy.
Yeah, audience of one.
Look at this package. It just arrived from Amazon, everyone. Let's try these on.
I love it.
Well, apparently the UK's biggest grocery store chain is offering body cams to its staff as it seeks to fight the scourge on society of retail crime and abuse to staff. So this is think of Walmart, I'm guessing. It
They
says
should, they should wear those at old folks' homes.
Ooh, there you go. That's a good one. But think about it. This is
Everyone hates
Walmart.
old people.
Oh, I love old people.
I'm kidding.
As long as they stay in their old folks' home, I love them.
Maybe that's where the septic tank hole came from.
Oh, man. I don't even know why that's gross, but it just is gross.
That's where they throw them in.
Oh.
They're like, we're done with you.
No, but can you imagine the crime being so bad in your grocery store? This is how I'm guessing it's like Walmart, right? This is their largest.
I'm actually kind of
retail chain.
surprised
So-
a lot of retail people don't have that kind of thing.
But there's security cameras in the store, but I guess they actually want to get eye-level camera, and I guess maybe there's audio as well.
Yeah.
So if someone's harassing them, they've got audio of it. But can you imagine having to be a grocery store worker subjected to that level of crime where your employer thinks you need a body cam on? Because I did that job. I mean, I had some rude customers, but I never had anybody that I really thought was going to assault me or anything like that. But yeah, man, so grocery store employee is now part on that list.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. All right, man, that's a pretty good time to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about words that have changed meaning over time.
I love it.
Yeah, the language is constantly changing, everyone, so stay tuned.
That slut changed?
Oh, stay
Because
tuned.
I saw that.
find
I
out.
saw that on the rundown. I was
You'll
like,
find out.
I love it. All right, we'll be right back, audience one.
Audience of One, Wednesdays at 10 a.m. right here on Conroe's 106.1 and 104.5. Listen to the brain droppings of local hosts, me, Andrew Belshner, along with the jewel of Montgomery County radio, Dick Schisler. Topical musings, news stories, oddities, or just weird conversations that we normally have with ourselves, all mixed together with the occasional guest. You can also find us on Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts.
I love it. I love it. Welcome back to Audience of One for our second segment for today's episode this week.
Come on, you got to admit, that is the best intro music in all of Montgomery County Community Radio.
Maybe.
Thank you, John Skeels.
And
Show.
yeah,
Song
so
rocks. Show rocks, too.
we're on YouTube, Facebook, Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station, Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. Just look up Audience of One Show. We're here every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and podcasts and all that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
It is pretty cool, man.
So we had a good first segment, talked about a lot of random stuff, and then we led with some things, but you want to talk about not...
I want to stick to the run sheet order. We never get out of order, and it's very important that we follow the run sheet order. Yeah, right. No, I think, are you an iPhone guy? Or are you one of these Android lamos?
I'm whatever's available, whatever's working.
Yeah, no, that was a joke. I really don't care. What's funny is my one and only Apple product I have ever purchased in my life is an iPhone, and I got in on it somewhere around 2010 or something. I don't know. Whenever
I
my
bought the
iPhone.
first iPhone.
iPhone 1?
Well,
Was that ever a thing? Is that like, when did they start with the numbering system, or what was
I
the?
don't know. I just knew it was called the iPhone. So
The
one this guy knew, he defaulted on his loans. So he was like trying to sell all his stuff because I guess he just got student loans and everything. And I guess there was like a budget to buy stuff.
Okay.
So he was, I don't know, he was on the run from the law and just needed cash or something.
Yeah, those Xanax were probably for him, by the way.
And I go, hey, I'll give you $75 for it.
Okay, that seems like a really good deal because it was
And-
probably a $500 phone at the time.
Oh yeah. And he's like, no. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then 2 hours later, he comes back. And he's like, yeah, $75. And I'm like,
Hey,
cool.
score, and
There
you used
go.
it, and you're still using it today.
Yeah. I
I can only hold one app, but it's cool.
It was actually really cool to have that because it was one of like the first ones and no one else had one and people were like, oh, you got an iPhone? I'm like, oh yeah, I do. That's right.
Wow.
And it's
That's
kinda
right.
like
I'm an iPhone guy.
Basically, I was the guy with the Ferrari.
Yeah, you were an early adopter. You didn't tell everybody I got it for $75. Off some Xanax guy.
Yeah,
down the road.
some guy really down on his luck.
Well, I think the new one's coming out. It's like iPhone 15 or something, I think. It's supposed to go for about $1,400 now is the retail price. Unbelievable,
I
man.
don't know about that.
Yeah, I got stuck in the iPhone trap because, you get one and you're used to using it, and then they offer you another one free back then, so you get a new one if you renew your AT&T contract or whatever. So I got stuck in this cycle of iPhone, and I know for a while I tried to break free, Dick. I promise I did. And I went and I looked at like other phones and Windows Phone or Android, whatever it was, and it was just different enough to where I went, I'll just stick with iPhone. But I'm not like an iPhone fanboy, which I know certainly there are Apple and iPhone people out there that just claim that it's far, far superior.
Well,
Whether or not it is, I don't know.
Yeah, it's always been one of those things. I actually enjoy the iOS over the Android, but I don't have any other Apple products.
Yeah, same with me.
But because
And Apple's really proprietary with their stuff, with the file types and everything. Once you get into that Apple ecosphere, it's hard to break free.
but you don't
I
have
want to break free, man.
you don't have an Apple laptop.
No,
So
no, I don't. That's what I said. The only product I have is the phone.
Yeah.
It just kind of sits in isolation, and I don't fully use it to its...
Android's just as good in my opinion. I mean, it's
Significantly cheaper, though, isn't it?
Probably. I don't know.
Okay.
Well, no, because you have different manufacturers.
Well, do you have an iPhone now?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know what version you have?
Nope.
So during the break, I had to open my phone up and look what version I had because I could not remember. And I, ladies and gentlemen, have an iPhone 13. That's right, I got iPhone 13 money.
How do you know?
Under settings, general, about, something like that. Well, the reason I ask is because in France, they have halted the sale of the iPhone.
This is an 11.
Ooh, okay, good. We're on either side of this because in France, they have halted the sale of the iPhone 12. Would you like to know why, Dick?
You can get them for $50.
Well, not in France. You can't buy one. Probably not even on the secondary market because it has radiation levels above what is acceptable. And I'm thinking, just in France? Aren't radiation levels kind of consistently unacceptable around the world? But no, apparently France is a little more up on this. And it's kind of weird because the iPhone 12 has been sold since September of 2020. But I guess they're just now getting around to saying, we should probably check the radiation levels on that bad boy. And apparently they're over the amount that is allowed. France's digital minister, Jean-Noël Barrot, God, that sounds so French, told the French newspaper Le Parisien, I'm getting really good at this, the decision was due to radiation levels above the acceptable threshold. And I don't know what the acceptable threshold is, but it says that it is above the specific absorption rate, or SAR. So, no more iPhone 12s in France. But apparently here, suck it up. Put it up to your head. Suck in all the radiation you want, man.
I mean, I wonder what that's like having an international business, and you're dealing with these little chiefs, like all these little chiefs all over the world, and it's just like, hey, we don't like the way this motor works here in your device, so we're gonna not allow it. But then the other person's like, yeah, you're good, and then you're kind of like, well, they say it's good.
Right.
Why can't you say it's good?
Got to make manufacturing difficult. It's got to make sales, marketing difficult. Yeah, I can imagine. Well, no more iPhone 12 for the French people.
So what happens? Do you have an iPhone 12? Did you say that? Like if I have it currently?
Oh, they will come in, knock your door down, and confiscate it, and they'll hold it to your head.
Really?
Teach you a lesson.
Well, like,
Suck that radiation. No, it's just they don't allow the sale. I don't think they're confiscating
kinda
them.
like
But that'd be a really cool
Isn't that
dystopian
kinda-
movie, though.
Isn't that kind of like halfway taking care of people?
Like just let them
It's
let them
like,
take care of themselves.
It's too late. You've had this phone for so long. You're dead. So we're just gonna let you die. Well, I mean, doesn't that kind of weird you out? Is there nothing like, oh, hey, public service announcement? If you have an iPhone 12, you could be getting cancer from it.
Well, that's what I think they probably have over there. When they stop selling them, that is effectively a nice message to the people.
Yeah,
Hey,
but iPhone 12 came out in 2020.
2020. That's
So
okay. And we're
no
still
one-
selling them here. And I have to imagine that iPhone 13, 14, whatever we're at now, the radiation levels can't be that much different, right?
That's strange.
Yeah. So just looking out for your health, buddy. Just looking out for
I mean,
your
we're
health.
still selling cigarettes and stuff, so I guess
Come with a warning label, though.
I think, yeah, I guess.
All right, man.
Don't put it on your privates.
Well, think about that too. We hold these things against our body, not only just our head when we're talking, on the phone, in front of our face, in our pocket, next to our stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just don't put it by your privates.
Speaking of privates, Kanye West has been hit with a lawsuit, and the reason why I say speaking of privates, you heard he was in the news, Kanye, last week for getting an exhale occupation from his girlfriend on a Parisian boat of some sort, like one of them little ferries. Did you not see this?
What's an exhale? You mean they were doing bad, naughty stuff?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And apparently he's in trouble over there. Well, he's in the news as well. But he's been hit with a lawsuit from his former manager or project manager and property caretaker who claims he was fired. Kanye fired him because he refused to remove the electricity and windows from the rapper's home. So let me repeat that. You have a project manager you've hired to do renovations on your home. Kanye West fires him because the project manager refused to remove electricity and windows. Essentially, Kanye was asking to turn a $60 million mansion into a bomb shelter. This guy wanted no lights, no windows.
That's Howard Hughes stuff. I like it.
Dude, what a weirdo. Obviously, he refused to comply and removing the electricity and windows from Yee's Malibu home to create a retro bomb shelter, which led to the lawsuit last Wednesday in Los Angeles County Superior Court. That's weird, man. That kind of puts that guy in a weird... I mean, honestly, if it's not against the law,
Yeah.
unless there's some sort of building code that requires that you have electricity and windows there, dude's getting paid, like, pff, do it. Like, I don't even care.
Yeah,
Let the guy go sit in
I don't know.
silence and sweat.
But I also feel like if I had Kanye West as a client for any type of service industry thing, I'd be kind of wary of like, I'd always be asking every day, is there anything else you need me to do? Because I feel like he changes his mind every day.
Yeah, you think.
So,
He said when the project manager refused, West told him, get the hell out. Says it right here in the yahoo.com article.
yeah, I love it. I can't, yeah, I mean, I love the idea of some rich dude going like, build me a Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah, you know they do it, too, and put lasers on their head.
Just be like, do it. What's okay? Let me ask you this: if money's not an option, like what's the most ridiculous? You think ridiculous, not just like a dream, like just ridiculous. What would you build?
Trapeze. Got to have a trapeze.
Really?
Yeah,
You'd have a
sure.
trapeze?
But I'm not going to do it. I just want to watch
I
other
feel
people
like
do
that's
it.
a dangerous thing because you have to maintain that.
No net.
Oh, then that's
Especially
just
just a big
silly.
swing.
That's just
No,
silly.
I don't know, man. Money's not an option. I mean, a bowling alley would be pretty cool. You know, and you have
But
parties down
it
there.
has to be ridiculous though.
Yeah, Okay, I'm going to go back with trapeze then.
Yeah, see, trapeze I can see, but then like you also have to maintain it. So like, say you don't jump on it for a year, and it's like, would you really trust going on that?
That's part of it, man. That's the risk you take when you come in and do the trapeze at
Yeah.
Andrew's house.
I don't know what I would build. I would actually, you know, what would be awesome is do like a replica of the hotel in The Shining.
I've been there.
Yeah, so like just build a replica of it though.
Yeah.
So, but it's not your house. So you have your house, and when you invite people over to your house, you're like, hey, I want to show you guys something. This is crazy. And like you open your back door, and then there's the mansion, and then there's
Is it like life size,
like,
regular
yeah,
size?
It's like
I'd just live in that.
people just be like, well, what's this about? I'm like, oh, sometimes I just do a lot of mushrooms, and I think I'm in the movie.
I just stare outside my own window.
Yeah.
Here's Johnny.
And I like watch this, and you flip a switch, and it starts snowing over in the maze. Like, oh yeah, we can.
I guess if money is no option, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see people because I've seen people build like ridiculous playgrounds, like castles and everything. Like it's an actual castle as a playground. I've seen those in backyards.
Yep. They're
Where,
pretty cool.
like you could literally live in it.
I think if I had ridiculous money, I would put an indoor pool, like an immaculate, massive indoor pool with amazing tiles and the latest and greatest. And then I would just floor over the top of it. So then when I'm standing there and during my cocktail parties, I'd say, there's a pool below us right now.
That'd be pretty tight. You get
You're like,
gyms-
what? That's right.
Like gyms used to.
You
be
can't
like
see
that.
it, but there's a swimming pool below us right now, just for the sake of conversation.
That's pretty cool. Now, probably the most weirdest thing that I've seen people spend money on is like a doghouse that's like 2 stories. Have you seen that stuff?
2 stories in dog height?
No,
Because that's really
like-
only about
no,
6 feet tall, dude. Let's be honest.
What it reminded me of is like imagine a tiny home, but a little bit bigger, and it's just for a dog.
That's kind of what a doghouse is, a tiny home.
But like,
Okay.
but a size of like a tiny home for people.
Wow. Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. Wow. Sounds like
'Cause-
that dog is really
'Cause I
spoiled.
think I saw it on TikTok or something. Like, oh, come in, like, let's see what Brownie's doing right now, and like, it's like a door.
And the
then-
dog's standing there with one of those buttons, and he clicks
he's
in and
like-
says, check out my house, check out my
Yeah.
house, check out my house.
Yeah,
It's 2 stories.
yeah.
Loser.
I thought that was
You
a
live in a
little weird.
1-story. Loser.
I thought that was a little weird. You know what's so weird? Would weird me out about it? You ever seen those people who
Get
build,
out of my
like,
house.
build little inlets for their dogs? Like you like walk in the door and there's like instead of having a broom closet or like a closet under the stairs, they build like an inside doghouse.
Yeah, and they got like a little shower area for them to bathe them and everything.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
But what happens when your dog dies?
Then you have a really awkwardly shaped small shower and entrance
Yeah.
that you don't do
It's
anything
really
with,
weird.
Which is why they probably immediately go and get another dog.
Yeah. And then I would just judge him like you didn't care about Brownie.
Or you could get the old one and stuff it, put it in an action shot in the shower. Ooh.
Yeah.
People do that, by the way.
Huh.
So
All
I've
right,
heard.
So Kanye
I've heard.
West,
Yeah, man.
Kanye West is a little wild. I dig it though. I
Yeah, a
dig
little
it.
weird. Well, staying on this guy probably would have thought he should have lived in a bomb shelter, but a lieutenant colonel in the Russian police was killed on Saturday by a drone attack. And I'm thinking, well, that probably happens now these days. I mean, my God.
No.
Yeah, we weaponize these drones. It's not that big of a deal. Read on, Andrew.
You're live on PD. PD Live. Or I guess we'll call it Ukraine Live or
There
whatever
you
now.
go. Anyways,
Do you think that's really happening right now?
what do you mean?
Because I was watching a movie the other day, and it was a terrible movie. It had the lady. It was on Netflix. It's like one of the new ones. It's like something Power Stone or something like that. But it's a spy film, and the opening scene is she's trying to sneak into this thing, and then she finally snuck in. And it was a rich man's gambling palace, and they were gambling on like actual real war events, and they had like live feeds of like the war and them
that's
killing stuff.
A really interesting concept
And I was like, I wonder if that's even real. Like,
that I may be participating in right now.
well, I mean, like, no, isn't that like because if you think about the Ukraine war, it's like
Yeah.
you can just look up videos of these
Sure.
drones drop.
Sure.
You can literally type in like Ukraine drone bomb drop, and
Well, you could probably find this one because he was killed while mowing his lawn. And I have to admit, if you're the lieutenant colonel, wouldn't you hire out for that? But no, apparently this was his day off, it says, and he decides, I'm just going to go out and mow the lawn. I like to do this work myself. It gives me a sense of satisfaction, you know.
see, I don't know why you're judging people for mowing their lawn, but
I mow my lawn, but I'm also not a Russian lieutenant, you know, with probably a huge bounty on my head. Out.
Well, I mean,
Hey Tim, look at the yard, looking great, and then kaboom, right in the head. So this guy got it while mowing the lawn.
I guess you have to look
Whoops.
at it like how the heck do they respond to that? Because now where no one's safe, you can't even mow your own lawn.
And do you leave him there, just like in his yard, just sitting there, or do you go kind of pick him up and drag him
Well, can
off?
you imagine being? The
I guess the drone just
can
leaves
you-
him there, huh?
Can you imagine being the wife?
Or the neighbor? Yeah,
It's like boom. You're like, oh, what was that?
waving at him. You're drinking your coffee on the porch. Howdy there, Russian lieutenant. Dunk.
Yeah, I like it.
Huh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back inside now.
10 points.
Yeah, exactly. All right, as teased earlier, new words added to the dictionary. Every year, there are new words that get added to the dictionary. And, language is always changing and evolving, so it makes sense to add new words. I think they probably need to add sus to it now, right? But over time, words, they change their meaning. I'm thinking like the word streaming. If you said the word streaming to somebody in 1972, they probably would have thought it means something completely different than what it means now. It went from probably being an adjective to describe something to now it's a verb. You stream something. So it makes sense to update the dictionary. So what I thought we would do here is go through a few of these and see what you think. There's a ton of them, by the way. So
Yeah.
yeah, when we don't have time to do all of them. It's kind of reminds me of the episode we did with the baby names that you're not allowed to name your baby. Which, by the way, go back. That was one of our early episodes back in March, I think. Do yourself a favor and listen to that episode. But one of the new words being added in 2023 is Blur's Day, a noun, informal, a day not easily distinguished from other days, or the phenomenon of days running together.
Blur's Day.
Blur's Day. Yep. It says made-up day names are meant to capture the sameness vibe of busy lives and work. Similar terms include Whose Day and Wednesday.
See, I feel like Blur's Day works.
Yeah, I kind
But
of like that
it's
one.
more of slang. Mm-hmm. So the next one I saw on that list didn't make. I was like, does that really belong in the dictionary? Was the shower orange?
Shower orange. I'm not even sure if I saw that one. Again, there was
that's what.
there's a lot of them.
So shower
What
orange.
is shower orange?
It's a noun. It's an orange that is peeled and eaten under a steamy shower.
What?
Yes, and it's purported to benefit by being in the steam, and it brings out the citrusy fragrance in the shower. So it's supposed to be like a soothing shower while.
Guess what I'm doing tonight.
And I'm thinking to myself, like, why does that belong in the dictionary though? Like,
Right. It's just, well, that is kind of annoying. Yeah, some of these are not just one word. They're a combination of a couple words put
Yeah.
together. I'm like, what are you doing here? You're not giving meaning to new words like dope, right? Dope used to mean something different. Now it means cool. Or fire. Used to actually be fire. Now that means cool. But yeah, you're right. When you combine stuff like orange shower, yeah, I can go home and really surprise the missus. She walks in and I'm chowing down on an orange in the shower. Next one here I have called jugging. And no, Dick, it's not what you think it might be. I know immediately you're thinking, I know a lot of... Never mind. It is a noun, informal, and this is a theft committed by a perpetrator who waits at a bank, near an ATM, or outside an expensive store, watches for customers who might be carrying a large amount of cash or goods, follows them to steal the money or goods from the customer or in their car. And I'm thinking, isn't that just called mugging? Why jugging? And apparently it's because jug is slang for a bank. Never heard of it. Never heard of this. But jugging.
So let me ask you this: the dictionary people, are they doing these entries, spending the time to like figure this out because they don't want to be called out in the future for not doing it?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily being called out as much as they're just trying to keep up with the evolution of language.
So they feel their purpose is we need to document every potential new word.
I guess so. But it is a little idiocracy-like because some of these words, like, they're just slang. They don't necessarily need to be in the dictionary, do they? Like jugging.
Well,
Although I'm so glad that one
either
is.
set the dictionary at a certain level where it's like, this is the common English language. Or you say, screw
Right.
that. We're just gonna
Everything else is considered slang.
like because that's why we have Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
So,
this is
like,
the real deal.
shower to me is an Urban Dictionary word.
It does seem like,
And
hey,
this-
bro.
it could have two meanings.
Yeah, hey, bro, you want to go jugging tonight? Yeah, let's. That sounds great. You get there and you're like, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed. Let's go
So,
take an
I
orange shower
wonder-
instead.
I wonder if it's just the times, like, because I feel like the people who made the encyclopedia would not like it.
They would not approve of this.
Yeah.
Webster himself is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah.
I don't approve of this. Of course, this next one makes sense, and I'm surprised it took to the year 2023 to get into the dictionary, but it is chatbot. A noun, a computer program designed to respond with conversational or informative replies to verbal or written messages from users. Okay, makes sense.
Big Pharma's on there.
So, yeah, see, that's, again, I wouldn't have, I don't approve of the multi-letter or multi-word, sorry.
Yeah.
GPT, abbreviation, computers, digital technology. And I never guess I knew what GPT stood for. Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now a word, though. So we've gone from abbreviations to actually being words.
Well, like words like doctor shop.
Yeah. Again, that's more like an action. That's two words put together.
It's a verb, and basically what it is you're going to different doctors to get your prescription filled.
Sure.
So you're abusing the system. You're doctor shopping.
It's just putting two words together, though.
I
I don't get it. Well, this next one, two words together, but I decided to pull this one out because actually my last two here are two words put together because I thought they were interesting. Coffee nap. Okay, it's a noun. And this is a short nap, usually 15 to 30 minutes, taken immediately after drinking a cup of coffee. The claimed benefit is being that the energizing effect of caffeine may be bolstered by a sleeping body's drop in adenosine levels. Have you ever tried this? A coffee nap? Because I think I've heard of a cat nap, right? It's a little quick nap and you get up and go, but a coffee nap. So the concept there is you slug back a caffeinated drink and then go sleep real quick, so that while you're asleep, that caffeine kicks in really hard and you wake up and you're like, yeah, let's go jugging.
I like gay Mary.
You like it?
That's
Gay
one.
Mary.
That's one of the words.
Hey, that's very progressive of you. You like gay Mary.
It's a verb. It says
But not
to
gay marriage.
Yeah, it just says a verb to marry a person of the same gender. Gay Mary. I'm like
Gay Mary.
all
Hey,
right.
man. You going to gay Mary this
No,
weekend?
You should check some of these out, man. There's some of them are
Yeah, they are
hilarious.
pretty fascinating. Yes, the last one I'm going to go over here is sleep debt. A noun, the difference between the amount of sleep a person needs and the amount of time spent actually sleeping. Okay, so basically, if you needed 8 hours, you only got 6. You come into the office, you're like, oh man, I'm dealing with a little bit of sleep debt here. My apologies. I think
Sleep debt.
I've seen you do
So
this.
you're just
I think I've seen you do the show with a little bit of sleep debt before. Just
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Did you see the word stealth?
That was stealth. That's
Yeah,
already
yeah,
a word.
yeah, this is good. It's an adjective.
Did I find a
So this is weird.
Did I find a non-legit website here? This
I
sounds,
feel no, I'm not kidding you. So see if you can follow this.
it's dictionary.com.
Yeah.
So
Stealth. It's an adjective
all right.
of a transgender person living as a cisgender member of one's identified gender without revealing that one is transgender.
Peter Piper picked parent.
So
my gosh, that's a
Yeah.
mind bender right there, man.
stealth.
A stealth.
That's what it's called, just stealth.
Hmm.
That person's stealth living. Wow. I don't know.
I don't
feel
know.
Like, I feel like that person just hasn't come out yet. So I guess stealth is just an interesting word to describe that.
I guess so.
Um,
Well, speaking of words that have kind of changed meanings, apparently Gen Z is trying to reclaim a word that was once a derogatory word. Do you know what I mean when I say Gen Z, by the way?
is that like the 19-year-olds today?
Yeah, that was starting in 1997 would be considered the oldest Gen Zs all the way up till, I don't know when. I can't remember.
Recent?
Yeah, till recent probably. But that's the youngest sort of generation we have now of, young teens and
Yeah.
early 20s. Millennials are getting so old now. They're Gen Z's throwing shade at the millennials.
I guess.
Well, anyways, apparently they're trying to take back the word slut.
Yeah, you were telling me about that, and I was. It put me in a position where I was like, I guess we don't really use that word today, besides like slut shame.
Well, I mean, I don't use the word very often
That's
to
what I'm
begin
saying.
with,
Like I was thinking to myself, it's like,
but I have heard females use this word in a way that's actually like like they're trying to be encouraging to people. Come on, sluts, let's go.
Okay.
You my slut, girl.
Yeah.
And they mean it in a complimentary way,
Yeah.
which is really odd to me. I still think the word is kind of harsh sounding, but apparently the younger generation sees that word and it's not that big of a deal. When it's obviously meant to be really derogatory.
Let's open that can of worms.
It's a provocative term of endearment.
Do
it
you
says.
feel like certain groups of people have more leeway with certain language, like words in our language?
Oh, we're not going to go there.
Well, no, because if you think about like what happens if I said that to a girl, like, come on, slut,
Yeah, okay,
like
yes.
that
good-
wouldn't
good.
really work.
No,
And-
yeah. So they own it. So this is definitely only a
So-
word that girls can
Okay,
use.
girls can use, and then like it's just one of those things where it's
Can you imagine introducing your significant other as such?
because I know I have some gay friends and they use derogatory terms towards one, even towards me, which I'm fine with.
But they mean it like as a term of endearment,
Yeah.
though, correct? Right? Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I don't think that one's going to work. I think it's just
I
young
like it.
girls.
I like it. Just call me whatever. People call me Dick.
The nerve.
I know.
The nerve. So next time you see some young girls in a group together and you hear one of them call the other a slut, it is a term of endearment.
Because I remember, one of my buddies is Polish, and there's a derogatory term for Polish people called, I think it's like,
Wait, hold on. What kind of Polish is he, though? Is he like full-blown Polish?
Yeah.
Or like,
He can
is his
speak Pol-
grandfather
he can
Polish?
speak Polish.
Okay, that's one of the rules.
he'd speak Polish, and I forgot what the word. I didn't know it was a derogatory term, and when I said it, I was like, I don't know where I got it, and he looked at me and was like, you know what that word means, right? And I was like, doesn't this mean you're Polish? And he's like, that means like you're below dirt Polish. Like it's kind of
You
like
got to be careful.
yeah.
Well,
So those words do exist, and there will never be terms of endearment. And
apparently you can even purchase items online that say like slut on them, and girls are, oh my gosh, fawning over this.
wasn't that a joke in Arrested Development?
It probably is. This is I'm telling you, we're living in idiocracy. You know, hats that say
no,
slut, like, oh my gosh,
I see
I
no
gotta
problem
have
with
it.
that though, because it's kind of like it's one of those things where, as a society, we remind ourselves words are just words.
Yeah, and they change
and they
meanings over
change.
time. Yeah.
So
I don't know. To me, it's still a pretty harsh word.
Oh yeah,
I-
I would never call anybody that unless it's like my girlfriend.
Or as a social experiment.
Because I'm kinky, you know. I'll give her one of those shirts.
Look what came in the Amazon package today.
Will you wear it for me, baby, please? Please. But yeah, that's always going to happen, though,
Well-
especially with young kids when they're discovering things, and they're like, there's always that phase young
Yeah.
kids go through, like, oh, this used to be a thing. Oh, cool. Well, then I'm going to say that. So,
Yeah.
more power to them.
Well, staying on this theme of girl empowerment, and we kind of teased this last week. I was going to talk about girl math. And before our female listeners get upset, this is not something we made up. This is something that the collective internet is making up, and now it's a kind of a viral trend.
Dictionary.com made it up.
Yeah, maybe. But essentially, the girl math is a way to describe buying luxurious things with discretionary cash. Okay? But these I think this kind of goes a little bit beyond that. There's an example. There are a few examples that I'll give you. If I return something at the store for $50 and then bought something else for $100, it only cost me $50. There's the girl math rationalization, which obviously makes no sense. But
I can see it making sense.
in their brain, this is how they've rationalized making these sorts of purchases. Well, whatever. It wasn't really $100. I returned something for $50, so it only cost me $50. Girl math. Even here's another one. Even this is a quote. This is not me talking. Even tickets that I buy months in advance. I show up to the concert and I'm like, this was basically a free concert, right? Because they paid for it such in advance. They show up and they don't have to pay for anything. Well, it's basically free. This apparently is called girl math. I find this highly offensive.
Oh, you found this on TikTok, I bet.
This is on BuzzFeed.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure this is a
smells-
this is a TikTok trend.
Okay.
But I don't go on
smells
TikTok,
like TikTok.
so no, this is a BuzzFeed thing.
'Cause I feel like everything on TikTok's fake anyway. So this is a fake thing, just
No,
so they
apparently
could
it's a thing.
make fake. I mean, it's just there's just no way you're that.
Well, I'm offended by it.
Because I can
If
see, I can
I-
see the clothes thing making sense if you have a budget and you're like, oh, I returned this, but the next week I usually spend $50 on a shirt every week, but I returned the last week's shirt, so now I can spend $100 on a shirt.
Sure, that's just basic budgeting, though.
But maybe that's what she's trying to say.
Yeah, maybe so.
I mean, I don't know why you're giving that person a hard time.
I'm just reading the article, man. Again, I am offended at this term girl math.
Now the concert thing is a little weird.
Didn't make a lot of sense.
I mean,
did it?
it'd be better if she goes, yeah, I bought this ticket, a month ago, but then when I went, some guy gave me $100 to go with him. So it's basically like a free concert.
Also said anything under $5 is basically free.
I can believe that. People treat change like that.
Yeah,
Those are my favorite kind of people, though. When they
Yeah.
go, I don't want change, I look at them. I go, I wonder when they made that decision in their life where they're like, I don't carry change.
It's weighing me down.
Well, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I arrived at that a few years ago, too.
So you don't, you refuse change back?
No, I don't refuse change back, but I am a little bit, when they hand me 93 cents on my
Oh, yeah.
$1.07 purchase, I give them $2 cash.
Oh,
No, I'm going to take it. It's cash. But
But
then
no,
but immediately I take this change and it goes right into a jar at my
Yeah.
house. And I'm like, that was,
I love my change jar.
yeah, but what does it do? It just sits there
It's fun.
to just look at?
And it keeps going up and up and up and up and up. And then finally when it goes up and up, you just get the rolls of quarters and you're like, dude, got beer tonight.
Okay, but see, if you're eventually spending it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But if you're just using it as some sort of, I don't know, talking piece, it might as
Well,
well be the
what
mansion out in your
What I would
backyard.
traditionally do with my change money is buy stupid gag gifts that are always way too expensive. Like I bought those penis things that you put on your
Explain.
Explain
yourself.
I bought a bunch of these things that valve caps for your tires, and I bought a bunch that look like penises. and so
The valve stem.
The valve stem, sorry, yes.
Okay, the caps.
The caps. Well, it goes
Okay,
over the cap.
yeah.
And so you're not taking off the cap and screwing this on. It just goes over.
Sure.
And there's little penises.
Never describe them.
So
as
I'm
penis
surprised I
things.
never put them on your car.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. They actually are
Like little
penises that you put on top of the valve stem to cover. Yes,
And I
have
think I
seen
spent like
those.
$50 on them.
Yeah.
And I bought a bunch. I just bought a bunch. Because like when I go to the bowl now, I'm like,
And then you put them on your own car.
yeah. Yeah. And, well, yeah, because, you're in on the joke, right? No. But yeah, that's usually what I do with that money. I buy stupid gag gifts, and it's like,
Nice.
there you go.
Nice.
Like I always wanted like 1,000.
Again, if you're spending it, it's fine.
But I still like the people that go, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Because there's usually.
Well, I mean, if it's like 2 pennies,
well, like
I get that. But 93 cents, I'm keeping 93
I
cents.
wonder who started, in connection to this conversation. I wonder who started the take a penny, give a penny at the gas stations. Because
Sure.
I literally used that this weekend.
I have
I needed
used it
2 cents, and I was like, 2 cents.
Nice.
And I go, but like, when did that start? That's not a gas station thing. I feel like that's like a marketing thing from a tobacco company.
Yeah, it probably was.
And it's like, hey, put this on your deal, and it's like, give
yeah,
it a
and
penny,
it's
take
got a little
penny.
advertisement for whatever, tobacco, and then
But
it's, yeah, probably so.
I still love the people who like, nah, I don't want that. And I'm like, oh,
Speaking of a
sorry.
Speaking of a penny, I think since today is National Hamburger Day, there's a chain, I think it's Burger King or something, that is selling, or maybe Wendy's, I think it is, selling hamburgers, their junior Wendy's burger, for 1 penny. McDonald's is selling it for 50 cents, I think. Anyways,
I'm
National
looking at it's McDonald's.
Hamburger Day.
Other fast food chains are doing special deals as low as a cent.
Crazy, man.
So
Got to be a maximum on that. There's no way you can come in there and be like, give me 100 hamburgers for $1.
Oh, I bet it's just one.
Yeah,
One-
it's probably
per
one or two
order.
per order. That's probably all it is.
Yeah.
All right, man. We are going to end the show with a funny. I don't know. It's not necessarily happy, but it is a funny story. Last week, a
Can
coastal.
you imagine working at Wendy's today and you're
Rewind.
dealing with 1 penny?
Oh, dude. Can you imagine that? Yeah, like, can you imagine getting your food and we just hand them a little. Or how many guys walk in there and give them $1, like $1 bill? You're like, oh my God. You got to count out 99 cents over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because how many people are carrying pennies on them? Probably not
That's
very
one
many.
thing I'm amazed, like at the bowling alley, how many people pay with change.
Really?
It's really
It's
weird.
a thing.
Because you're
I
like,
didn't think, like I said, I don't typically carry it on me anymore. It's just, it's heavy.
you know, somebody.
And it jingles up against
had
my cell phone, giving me cancer in
I
my
had
leg.
a guy when I was visiting Austin literally go, you're like the first guy I've seen use cash in like over like half a year.
Wow.
And I was like, when he told me that, I go, are you judging me? Or are you just shocked that cash still exists? Like, I'm trying to understand where you're coming
Yeah.
from here.
Yeah. Are you making a character reference here?
And yeah, and he was like, no, no one ever uses cash. And I was like,
And then you called him a slut.
yeah, I said, I'll go, I'm a slut for that dollar and that penny. But no, I was like, if I ever was traveling, I'd always travel with cash.
You know? Yeah, I used to have that moniker as well. I got to travel with cash. Now it's, you always want to have a little bit in case of emergencies. But
I like it because I can just get out.
yeah,
Like if we go to a bar, like I don't want to sit there. I don't live here. I don't,
you can make it rain too. Just throwing
Yeah.
your cash around. All right, man, we're going to end with a story here. Last week, a coastal village in Portugal faced flooding like they've never seen before. This was 600,000 gallons of red wine flowed through the streets of a small town, São Lourenço de Barrio. And this was nuts. I mean, if you've seen any of the videos, it looks literally like the streets are running with blood. It's just red wine flowing through there. But apparently now the town is kind of worried that they're going to have this red wine infiltrate their water system because it was so much red wine flowing through the streets. Yeah, man. Kind of cool. I guess a truck tumped over, and that's a lot of wine to be carrying.
yeah, I mean, I want to say there
Well,
was.
it says 2 wine containers broke, so it wasn't necessarily in a truck. It may have been in a building.
It was kind of funny coming up to the studio this morning. There was gentlemen outside all around Conroe Tower scrubbing white powder,
As one will do.
and I was like, "That's a lot of white powder. Like, what happened here?" Like it's just imagine somebody with chalk just chalked all the way around the whole building.
Perfectly normal. Nothing to see here.
And
Move
these,
along.
These guys were brushing real hard to get it off, and I was
Before the start
like,
of business on a
Hey,
Monday morning.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
I was thinking like, is this like a prank? And finally, when I went back outside, this guy like moved like 2 feet, you know, and I was like, oh, Jesus, what is this stuff? And I asked, I was like, hey man, like what happened here? Well, apparently, whoever cleaned the roof used some type of chemical, and I guess when it rained or something, it
Came
like
off the roof.
overfilled,
Yep.
and it all. That's why there's a perfect white outline of the whole building. And I
Oh,
bet those guys
wow.
are still out there scrubbing that stuff.
Oh, man.
But yeah, a red wine wouldn't be that big of a deal, would it, to you?
I mean, it said the soil was soaked. They had to be taken to a special treatment plant. So I guess they're worried about it infiltrating into their natural habitat. Because it's not supposed to be there. It was so much wine in this small village. Man, I'd be out there.
That's weird.
Put the cup down on the road.
Please do that again. Please do that.
On your hands and knees, just rolling in it. Ball back, my favorite kind.
Is that what you were doing at Dwight Yoakam?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
All right.
man,
That's enough, guys.
Hey, it was good to see you.
End of transmission.
Onesies, please let us have some cool stories. We got audience of one.
Clearly,
show
I'm
at
incapable of
at
finding them on my
Gmail.
own.
I mean, I thought the wine story was really going to go somewhere, but then it's
No,
like,
I told you it's a little quick
you
hit
just
here at
talked
the
about
end.
your little kink of licking the ground.
You got to have the quick hit at the end. That's all these little stories are, man.
Audience at one show at gmail.com. Reach out with your comments and articles if you find anything really interesting. It is September. It's the middle of September. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Don't forget, you can donate and sponsor the show. This is a volunteer show, at your local community radio station. So look us up at irlonestar.com/AOO. And then, yeah, Andrew, it's so good to see you.
Absolutely.
Even though we don't bowl anymore.
Yeah,
Because you literally call me a slut.
Yeah, well, go enjoy your orange shower, you slut. See you next week.
Yeah.